Hello dear students, welcome back to your math classes. How are you all? I hope you all are healthy and doing well. So students, I'm your mathematics educator again here with a new chapter and a new concept. And today we have chapter number 14, which is data handling. So before starting this chapter, we have to understand what does mean by data handling. Data means a collection of information on a particular topic. For example, if you want to ask your class favorites color, so your question is will be only focused on the colors, right? No one can tell you the favorite actor and actress name. It means you are collecting a data in your classroom with a particular topic. Now handling means when you collect this data and you have to handle it, you have to interpret it, you have to analyze it. So this is your data handling, and in this chapter we deal with the different methods which we use to for handling our data. So let's get started. In individuals and organization, collect information about various things, maybe income, number of family members, marks in examination, modes of transport, etc. The information is needed to keep records, make decision about important issues to pass it to others. This collection of facts or figures from which some information can be drawn, it's called data. So data, and this is your observation for the data. For example, the class got marks out of 20, so 30 students marks we have. This is called your observation. Each entry displays in the list is called an observation. The data presented in this form does not give much information about the achievements of students. Therefore, after being collecting, data needs to be organized to produce useful information, and for organizing this data we need handling method. So first of all, organization of data. So we have two methods to classify data. So first we have tabular presentation, and then we have diagrammatic or graphic representation. So first of all, we have to learn about the frequency distribution. A frequency distribution or frequency table is a tabular summary of data showing in the number of items in each category of observation. The number of items a particular observation occurs in data, it's called frequency of that observation. For examples, how many times a particular marks is repeated by several students, that is called your frequency. For example, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times a same number is repeating in this observation. It means 12 has 5 frequency. This presentation is facilitated through a technique of telemarks as explained below. To illustrate the method, we take up the data given in the previous sections. Marks out of 20 of 30 students in class test. These are the marks we have, and you can simply classify the frequency of it. So how can you mention it? We already do this in our earlier classes where we have to focus that 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have to make 5. So we have to cross it like this. So this is your group of 5 vertical and 1 diagonal line. So for example, you have a frequency of 3. So you can mention it like 1, 2, 3. You have frequency of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have to cross it like this. Okay, which we already do in our earlier classes. So now we move forward to our exercise 14.1. Prepare a frequency distribution of the weights in kg of 33 students of a class given below and answer the question that follows. So these are the observations we have for 33 students. What you have to do, you have to mark your table like this. Okay, first of all, you have to check it how many students you have, 33, and you have to check how many marks are repeated again and again. So you have to make your frequency like, for example, 10, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. And after this, the marks which lies in these groups, you have to write their frequency, and then you have to write the tally marks for it. In question number 2 and in question number 3, question number 4 and question number 5, as well as in question number 6, you have to do the same process. So first of all, as I'll explain you in your example, you have to understand that, and then you have to move forward towards your exercise. Okay, now we have pictographs. Pictograph means when we representing our data with the help of pictures, that is called your pictograph. So here what we see that we use in the pictures of ice cream to representing this data. So vanilla we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here we see that one ice cream is representing 10 ice creams. So 7 multiplied by 10 is equal to 70 ice creams. Okay, so in that way you can interpret your data as well as represent your data. So advantage of using pictographs, we have pictographs is easy to read. It shows trends in data clearly. Pictures are more attracting and appealing to the eye and have a lasting impression on the mind. So the disadvantage of using pictographs, we have it is difficult and time consuming to construct. Each symbol represents a fixed number of units. The value of the variables which are not multiple of this unit are not represented accurately, because we have to form half figure of it, and sometimes it could be misunderstanding we have and we misread the pictographs. So number of students enrolled in 1 year. So one student like this is representing 100 students and half of it is representing 50 students. So in 1995 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 multiplied by 100 is your 800 students. So in same way you can interpret the rest of the students pictographs you have and answer this question. Which year had the maximum enrollment of students? So year 1997 we have maximum number of students 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 multiplied by 100. Okay, so 1100. Now in which year were more students enrolled, in 1996 or 1998? So more students were enrolled in 1996 than in 1998. 750 students were enrolled in the year of 1999. So when we understand how we have to read our pictographs, we can easily write the answers for the questions we have. Okay, so same concept we have in this, where we have to interpret this data, or after this we have to answer the question. Which cold drink was consumed in maximum quantity? So this 4 bottles and this half of it is representing 2 bottles, and we see Pepsi is consumed in more quantity. How many bottles of Coca-Cola were consumed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 multiplied by 4 is 44 bottles. So I hope so students these examples are clear to you. Okay, how can you classify, how can you interpret your pictographs? Now drawing a pictograph, that is very easy for you. What you have to do here, mode of transport and number of students. So here we have cycle and 4 students are travel by the cycle. So in this case this cycle is one smiley is representing 1 student, and we for representing this data we have to make 4 smileys. Now scooter 5 smileys. Now school bus 11 smileys. For car 3 smileys. Walking we have to mention 7 smileys, and we also mentioned that 1 smiley is equal to 1 student. Okay students, so in same way you have to represent your data. And here we have our exercise 14.2. The following pictograph shows the sale of t-shirts on different days of a week. So a complete t-shirt is representing 10 t-shirt and half of it representing 5 t-shirts. So on Monday we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 40, and 40 plus 5 is 45 t-shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 70 t-shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 t-shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 60 t-shirts. 135, 45, 3 and 3, 60. Now, how many t-shirts were sold on Wednesday? So, 50. On which day maximum number of t-shirts were sold? So, maximum number of t-shirts sold on Tuesday. Then how many t-shirts were sold in the given week? So in given week we have to add them together. 45 and 35, 45, 45, 90, 60, 60, 120. 90 plus 120, and 35 and 100 is, so 35 and 70 is 105. 90, 120, 210. 210 and 105 is 305. Total t-shirts were sold in the given week. Now observe the given pictograph and answer the question that follows. So the same process you have to repeat here for question number 2, for question number 3 and question number 4. And after this you can easily interpret your pictograph and answer the following questions. Now we have to make a pictograph. The following table shows the number of books in different subjects in a library. So English we have 350. So what you have to do? You have to mention your one book. So for English you have to represent 7 books. For Hindi you have to represent 6 books. For mathematics 4, for social science 3, and for general science 5. So by doing this, you can easily represent your pictograph. So same process you have to do for question number 6, question number 7, and question number 8. After this, you have your exercise. After this, you have your next concept, which is bar graph. So in the previous section, you have seen that construction of pictographs is time consuming and not very accurate. So there is another method to represent data pictorial. So next we have to do bar graph. A bar graph is a pictorial representation of data by numbers of bars, rectangles of uniform width, erected horizontal or vertical with equal spacing between them. The length of the bars are proportional to the magnitude or frequency of what they represent. Basically, bar graphs you already do in your earlier classes, and bar graphs are represented vertical rectangles. You have, with the help of rectangular bars, you are representing your data. Okay, so now components of bar graph, we have graph title, axes and their labels, axis of scale, and bar. So first of all, graph title. Graph title gives an idea about the information being provided in the bar graph. The title is given at the top of the bar graph. Next, we have axes and their labels. So each graph has two axes, an x-axis and a y-axis. And x-axis is your horizontal axis and y-axis is your vertical axis. The axis labels tell us what information is represented on each axis. One axis represents data or observation and the other represents the amounts of frequency of values of data. The data axis is always at the base of rectangular bars. Now axis scale. Scale is in range of a value being represented along the frequency axis. It is determined by the lowest and the greatest values you wish to include in the graph. Next, we have bar, which plays a very important role. The bars are rectangular blocks that have their base at x-axis or y-axis. Each bar represents the data for one of the values of the data. So there are many bars as the number of values of the data. Usually the x-axis has number of the time period what is being measured, and the x-axis has the number of frequencies or the amounts of stuff being measured. So for this, you have to say this figure. This is your bar graph. This is the topic. First of all, you have your graph title, which is number of schools in city. After this, you have your axis, y-axis, and an x-axis. So your x-axis always representation of the information, the data you have collected on different years, and your y-axis is always representing the frequencies of it generally. Okay, and this bar graphs, this rectangular blocks help us to determine how much frequency it has. So I hope so it is clear to you. Now your 1 unit is equal to 50. It means the gap between. After 50 you take 100, 150. So the difference between each number, each scale you have 50, that is your scale. So these are the parts you have, the components you have for the bar graph, and you also understood how you have to form it. After this, for example, this is a data table which we have to perform. So in 1993 we have 125 numbers of schools. So 1993 150. So 125. So 125 will be lie between 100 and 150. The next number we have 1994. So 150 not lie at 150 exactly. It's equal to this. The numbers which are not representing on the y-axis, so you have to see where they lie and you have to mark it. If the numbers are representing on your y-axis, you just have to draw till that. And what you have to keep in mind, your rectangular blocks, the bars should be have the equal distance between them. Now the second bar graph we have to form. The following table shown the preferred snacks choice of 100%. So in this we have to represent this bar graph. So it is represented in a different way. That is your vertical way and this is your horizontal way. So preferred, this is title of your bar graph. Preferred snack choice of 100%. These are the things, the snacks we have, and these are the number of frequencies which we have to show. So number of persons and these are the snacks, and you can simply mention it like this as you do in your earlier. So here we have chips. So here you don't have to represent in vertical form. Here you have to represent on the horizontal form. So 0 to 10. For dhokla 0 to 22. So in same way you can represent your data. Now interpreting a bar graph. So when we are representing a data with the help of bar graph, so also we have to analyze it as well as we have to interpret it. So for this, what information is conveyed by this bar graph? So type of plants in a garden. This information is conveyed by this bar graph. Which plant is in maximum number? So the rose plant is in maximum number. how many rows? Which one has a longest rows? So this is the maximum in number. How many plants are there in all in the garden? So total we have to count. So these are the numbers of bars we have. If we add them together, so we will get 150 as in answer. Now read the following graph and answer the question. In which year did the company have the maximum profit? So company had the maximum profit in 2003 and 2004 because we have two long bar graphs in this particular year. Now company had the minimum profit in the 2001 and 2002 because we have the smallest bar in this. Now in 2002 and 2003 and 2003 and 2004 the company's profit was greater than 75 lakh. In same way you can easily interpret it as well as you can draw your bar graph. So in question number 1, the following table shows the marks out of 100 obtained by Ankit in different subjects. So what this bar graph title? Ankit's marks in different subjects. Now you have to mention your y-axis, your x-axis. The subject should be mentioned on x-axis and this your chart will be 0. After 0 you have, for example, we are representing it with the help of 5, 10, 20, 30. You can represent it like this. 20 and you can make it or you can take the gap 50. After 50 we can take, but not 50, it's possible for us. 30, 60, 90, 40 if we take, 20 would be possible. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 like this, and after 80, 90, 95. Or you can take any other measurement scale. You can take 20, 20, 20 it's also good, na? 20, 40, 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100. Now you can easily show your bars. For 60 you have to mention this. After you have 80, so you can mention your bars like this. This is the subject for Hindi. We have, this is for English. So in same way you can make your bar graph, and the same process you have to do here. Or here your scale is equal to 20 units because the 20 units gap we have. Now in question number 2, question number 3, question number 4 and till question number 5 you have to draw your bar graphs. After that you have to interpret your bar graphs. So read the following bar graph and answer the question that follows. Who is the highest income tax pay? So highest income tax pay is G person. So you have to write here G. Which of the person pay income tax above 4,000? So above 4,000 we have E and G only. So E and G. So who pays more income tax, B or F, and how much? So B we have 3,500. You can say 3,50,000 and F we have 4 lakh. So the 50,000 difference they have. So in same way you can interpret your data easily, and these are the things you have to keep in your mind while you solving this chapter. I hope so students this chapter is clear to you, because this chapter is very easy and this is the chapter is mostly liked by students, data handling. Now this is the end of your chapter as well as your syllabus. Now I'm going to meet you in your higher classes. Till that what you have to do, start your preparation for your exams. And now after this you have any kind of doubt, so you have to consider first your exam. First you have to understand the concept, then you have to do your examples, and then you have to move towards your exercise. So students, all the best for your exams. Bye bye. Have a good day.